Welcome to my podcast, Life with Denise, sharing inspiring conversations and heartfelt wisdom. Follow online at denisepettit.com, YouTube at Denise Pettit, and Instagram at Denise Pettit. What brings you joy? Hi, and welcome to Life with Denise. I'm Denise, and I am so glad that you're here because today we're going to talk about two words we use all the time, almost like they're the same thing, but they're not quite. And those two words are joy and happiness. We toss them around like synonyms. We say, I'm so happy right now. That brings me so much joy. But I want to talk today about the difference because I think understanding that difference might change how you think about life. So let's start with happiness, because it's the one we talk about the most. You know, happiness is really, it's an emotion. It's a response. For example, something good happens to you, you get the job. Maybe the sun is out. Your favorite song comes on and happiness shows up. It's real, it's wonderful. And honestly, we should chase the good moments. There's nothing wrong with happiness. But here's the catch. Happiness is conditional. It really depends on circumstances. It rises when things go well, but then it dips when things don't. You know, that's not a flaw. That's just what it is. If you want to think about it this way, happiness is weather. It changes with the day. And I really think a lot of us have built our whole lives around chasing the weather, waiting for the next sunny day, or maybe the next win, the next thing to go right so we can finally feel good. Have you ever felt that way? Well, I'm sure you have because I have. But now let's talk about joy, because joy plays by different rules. Joy is deeper. It's less about what's happening around you and more about something happening within you. Joy can show up in hard seasons. Joy can sit right next to grief and not cancel it out. You know, you've probably experienced some of these feelings of feeling joy, but also being in a very difficult time in your life. I know many times I have, like laughing at a funeral and feeling a flicker of real gladness in the middle of a very genuinely difficult year or time. That's joy doing what happiness cannot do. Joy stays present even when circumstances are very rough. And you know, there's a verse in the Bible that captures this whole idea very well. It's in James in chapter 1, and it talks and it says, consider it pure joy when you face trials. And certainly not because it doesn't mean that those trials are fun, but because something different and stronger and deeper is being built in you through them that's going to outlast the trial itself. That's the heart of joy. It's not naive. It's not pretending that things are fine. It's a steadiness that runs underneath those hard times and the hard stuff. And then there's another verse in Psalm. It's Psalm 30, verse 5, that says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. You know, I love that verse because it doesn't deny the weeping. We're going to be weeping in difficult times, right? The night is very real when those disappointments come and you just at maybe a very low moment and just you feel so desperate. But it's not the end of the story because joy is on the other side of it. And sometimes joy is what carries you through the night to get there. And honestly, that's just the shape of life, isn't it? I mean, we've all experienced these times. There's seasons in our life when we feel like everything is going right and nothing can go wrong. And then there's seasons when you feel like everything's wrong and nothing can go right. There's ebbs and flows, ups and downs. It's like cycles that we all move through, whether we want to or not. Things are going to be happening to us that are out of our control. We talked about that on the previous episode. Someone once put it this way: you're either heading into a crisis, you're in the middle of a crisis, or you're coming out of a crisis. And then guess what? That cycle starts all over again. That's not being pessimistic. That's just being honest about how life actually works. The key isn't to escape the cycle, because you really can't. Things are just going to happen. The key is to be aware of it, to know which season you're in, and to keep joy at the center of it, no matter which one it is. And I'll say it really like this. I think that kind of joy, the kind that holds steady through every season, only really comes when God is your source of joy and hope. Not a circumstance, not a season, but in Him. If happiness is compared to being the weather, well, then joy could be compared to being the climate. It's like an underlying condition, the thing that is still true on stormy days. So let's put them maybe side by side for a second and compare. Happiness is triggered by outside events, but joy can rise up on its own without needing a reason. Happiness tends to be short, like maybe a spike, a moment, maybe a mood, but joy tends to have staying power. It's less of a spike and more of a foundation. Happiness says, I feel good because things are going well. But joy says, I feel glad even when things aren't going my way because of something deeper. Maybe a connection, meaning, love, and purpose. And here's the important part. They're really not enemies, and they're really not competing. You can have both. In fact, the best version of a good life probably includes plenty of happiness. Oh my goodness, a good meal, a favorite restaurant, good laughs with friends and family and your favorite people, good days where you're just sitting on the top of the world and you feel like everything is going your way. But sitting on the top of a deeper foundation is joy. Happiness is the icing. Joy is the cake, if you want to think about it in those terms. The problem is when we only chase the surface things, like the icing, when we build our whole sense of okayness on things that are, by nature, just temporary. That can be exhausting. I don't know if you've ever done that, but I certainly have done that as well. That's a life of constantly needing to have the next good thing to arrive, just so we can say, okay, I can take a breath now. I can breathe easy now. Everything's going my way. So here's my second question. Are you happy? I don't mean, are you fine? And I don't mean, are you keeping it together? I mean, are you happy right now, today, in the season that you're currently in? Notice, that question is going to shift depending on your circumstances. Maybe work has been very hard for you lately. Maybe a relationship is strained. Or maybe you're just tired. It's okay if the honest answer today is, well, I'm not really happy. Because happiness, remember, ebbs and flows. That's what it is built to do. But here's the follow-up question that really matters. It matters even more. Even if you're not fully happy right now, is there still joy underneath it? Is there still something steady holding you up? That's the real work, not manufacturing happiness on command, because you can't force the weather, but building and protecting the deeper thing, the climate, the joy that doesn't evaporate the moment that circumstances get very hard. So practically, how do you do this? Well, let's talk about that. For happiness, you want to notice it. Let yourself enjoy good moments, guilt-free, right? Sometimes we feel guilty if we're having a great time and things aren't necessarily going our way. But happiness isn't shallow just because it's temporary. Savor the meal, savor the laugh, savor that sunny afternoon. Let it be enough for just what it is. But for joy, it tends to grow in different soil. For example, gratitude. That's one thing. And actually naming what you're actually thankful for out loud on paper, even in a hard week. It can recalibrate your thinking. Your connection, your real relationships, not just people that you're side by side because you're close to them in proximity, but purpose, doing things that matter way beyond just how they make you feel in that very moment. And if you want a picture of this, you can think about someone, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that you can think of in your life that you know who have gone through very difficult, genuinely difficult situations. Illness, loss, real hardship. But then they still have a quiet steadiness to them. That's not because nothing bad has happened. It's because they have built something underneath the bad thing that could hold the weight. That's joy. So what brings you joy? Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a quiet morning, maybe it's the work of your hands, or for me personally, it's my faith in God. A memory that warms you years later. Whatever it is, pay attention to it. Protect it. It's more valuable than most of the things we chase. Are you happy? Wherever your honest answer lands today, that's okay, because happiness will keep changing, because that's its job. But don't let a hard season convince you that nothing good is underneath it. Enjoy and be happy. Enjoy the good days, but build your life on joy, because that's what's still standing when the storms come. Build your life on God and let Him bring you that deep inner joy. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Denise, and I'll see you next time on Life with Denise. Thank you for listening to Life with Denise, sharing inspiring conversations and heartfelt wisdom. Follow online at denisepettit.com, YouTube at Denise Pettit, Instagram at Denise Pettit. See you next time.